Christine is a Weight Doctors patient, and she came to us because she'd already gone through so many diets. Of course, like many people we see, she could lose weight but could never really maintain it. She was simply desperate and felt like she'd exhausted her other options. She stood on the scale one day and thought to herself, no, this simply can't be it. I still want much more from my life.
I was overweight as a child. I was bullied in my youth because I was always the bigger person. I can't even remember being less than 100 kilos. Even as a student, I was already in a 3-digit range. And yes, then the situation weighs on you more and more. Then it's such a cycle, it's so difficult to break. You go on the scale, you're demotivated, you just keep going and you think, oh well, it'll be better with the next diet. Then you go on the next diet and it's just the same again. It became a pure disaster. In retrospect, even with the diets, I was slowly gaining over time. And at one point in that April of 2019, I was sitting there I'm crying on the scale and thought, it can't be that I'm still 10 kilos more than my delivery date. My child is 13, so after all that time, I was already carrying much more weight than at the end of my pregnancy. I couldn't move properly. I was having trouble breathing. I saw myself in pictures where I thought, that's not you. I decided to also lose weight for my son and for my family because I'm worried that I'm either going to eat myself to death and not see my son grow up, but also the situation of picking my child up from school. What if he feels ashamed of me at some point? That, of course, made another huge crack in me. I thought, this can't go on. Then I got my intragastric balloon at Weight Doctors, and within the first week I saw results on the scale that I couldn't believe at first. And then the first compliments really came from people who weren't doing it because we're related friends or something, but genuine comments like, hey, somehow I remembered you differently last time. All of a sudden you start to look completely different and say, right, somehow something is actually changing. And yes, you start to really notice little by little. So this number on the scale, it starts to move the right way. And then I looked at these before and after pictures, or also the compliments from people. And that does something to you. It changes a whole big mindset. I used to go to the store, go to the prosthesis section, see what was in my size, and then I had to choose something. So I never had a style or anything. I wore what I could fit into. Now it's different. And that's an indescribable feeling to suddenly say, I'd like to have that in my size. I put it on and it fits. I can't be on a diet permanently and want to do without anything permanently. I want to live. And I can live pretty well with the gastric balloon, for example. I can eat my favorite pizza just as well, but I don't eat a big pizza or a whole pizza anymore. I eat a small piece of it and I'm just happy with it. And that definitely motivates me to keep going too, because I just don't have to go without. My habits are changing. I'm learning about control, about portion sizes and healthy eating, and I can take that on through life. And that's more feasible for me than if I have to live forever on shakes or fad diets where I'm actually permanently just thinking about food. My dream is just to never be the way I used to be, but to just maintain my weight and be happy and healthy. That is a big dream of mine.